Kolkata Knight Riders kick off their second half of the IPL. They're not where they'd like to be in the points table. RCB, on the other hand, are in a good place. Let's talk about Kolkata's batting, though, right? It's a batting Sanjay Manjrekar and Dale Steyn on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 timeout that hasn't quite lived up to potential. Sunil Narayan is still not sure where he fits in that lineup. Sanjay Shubman Gill, there are expectations of him. Is this his format? Andre Russell. How do KKR get their batters to fire? Surely, if they have any chance of the playoffs, they've got to get their batting right almost immediately, Sanjay.
Yes, and just to be a little maybe, hard on somebody like an Owen Morgan, one individual. It's never one guy, who is responsible for the fate of a team. So I think Owen Morgan has to fire. I mean, this is a guy with international experience. He's a T20 international captain, now the captain of the side. So if he fires, the whole batting sort of galvanizes into action and he then becomes the inspirational leader. So to put the focus on guys like Gill, Rana, maybe not, that fair. I want Morgan more to fire and lead by example more than looking at the three parties and Shubman Gill and Nitish Rana and the kinds.
Brendan McCullum says a lot about we're going to stick to our philosophy and what we know. Sometimes we've seen that to be a bit confusing in terms of the batting order. Dale, would help a team like Kolkata if they just, yes, we get the flexibility point, but Morgan, you bat 3 or you bat 4. That we will not change. Would something like that help?
Yeah, I mean, that statement kind of confuses me because I don't know what it means. One game it could be one thing and then the next could be different because they do like to kind of adjust to the situation that they're in. The one thing I do want to see is probably the use of Russell a little bit better. In the first half of that IPL that we were watching, Russell was coming in like pretty late. He's a match winner and we want to see more of those kind of guys coming out. You know what Russell can do. He puts bowlers under pressure. You've got to bring your best bowlers back into the game early to try and get him out. And where he capitalizes is at the back of the innings. In those last 3 or 4 overs, he is just amazing. So, maybe Russell could be used a little bit better. But McCullum's words there just kind of confuse me a little bit because they do like to kind of adjust to the situation.
Sanjay loves this discussion. Batters with an identity crisis. Should they come in with more overs? Should they come in with less overs? And KKR have quite a few, Sanjay. Dinesh Karthik, Andre Russell.
It's a fairly simple choice for KKR because when you think even about Sunil Narayan opening, you're not sort of giving a raw deal to somebody else. They don't have too many exciting options. So if they want to send Andre Russell up the order, they can do it because they're not going to take away somebody's, great opportunity. Maybe Morgan slightly higher than Russell being the pure batter in the side. But Russell has the credentials and I would want to send him before somebody like a Dinesh Karthik, who I would use more like a finisher and a floater rather than Russell being used in that role.
All right. And finally, Dale, if you have to look at Shubman Gill, we've seen a bit of him in Test cricket. It looks like, that's a format that is going to be exciting. And we're not quite sure of what to make of Shubman Gill, the T20 batter. What do you make of him?
I mean, good batter, great technique, good opening batter, best time to bat in the first 6 overs, He can hit bad balls for 4 or 6, and then he can hit good balls for a boundary too. He's just got to start pushing on those scores. He kind of gets to 40s and whatnot, and then doesn't just push on to those big 80s or 100s that Kolkata need him to get to. Kolkata have also got Narayan up their sleeve, that they can kind of slip in there at the top order if they need. So Shubman Gill's going to have to start putting in some bigger performances before we might see something like that take place.
Sanjay, you want a quick word on Shubman Gill? Is he a
sorry.
No, please.
No, I think it is more about Gill as he's getting more and more recognition. The scanner is more on him and they're watching him in test matches. The kind of adjustment that he made in the World Test Championship final worried me, whether this guy has a tendency to overreact to setbacks, which happen to a lot of players. So this is not so much the skills of Shubman Gill. It's about how to, strong is temperamentally to sort of come back strongly in this format.
Right, thank you very much. Dale Steyn, Sanjay Manjrekar. This was looking ahead to Kolkata against Bangalore and seeing if Kolkata's batters can fire as the second half of the IPL comes their way.
We call it people technology.